Go.
Hi everybody. So today we are at Skinner Falls in the town of, which I don't know how to pronounce, Cochecton, Cochecton, New York. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Skinners and the Dunns and the Gustons, and most specifically about the family of Joseph Skinner. So the Skinners, Joseph Skinner, William Dunn, and Alpheus Guston were all from Connecticut, and they all participated in some degree or another in the land speculation companies, the Delaware Land Company, the Susquehanna Land Company, and they all moved and were in 1760, they were all in Sussex County, New Jersey. And then they kind of dispersed from there. And so today we're going to talk about Joseph Skinner's family. He actually owned a full share as a proprietor, and I can't remember if it was the Delaware or the Susquehanna Land Company. But he ended up with land in this area of New York. And we're talking early 1760s. And he headed up here to this area by this beautiful river. This is the Delaware River, which flows all the way down. It's the border, so we're on the New York side of the river. The other side of the river is Pennsylvania. And when you go back down towards New Jersey, there's a point near Port Jervis where the river kind of comes together, and you've got New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey all on different sides or points. So Joseph Skinner came up here early in the 1760s. The treaties with the Indians, the Iroquois, and the Delaware, the Delaware Indians were subject to the Iroquois. They hadn't all really been settled, and but they were working it out, and Joseph Skinner went to a big powwow to kind of finish up some of the treaties and arrangements with the Indians, and he never came home. He had a large family of children. His wife went back to Connecticut, but at some point, two of his sons, Daniel and Haggai, returned or stayed at this area and made a life here. We're going to talk a little bit about Daniel Skinner. So Daniel Skinner, once the family was leaving New Jersey, went for a while out to sea. He became a seaman. He went to the West Indies and learned a little bit about traveling on ships. So when he came back here to Cochecton or however you say it, he got an idea that he would make some money by floating logs down the Delaware River to Philadelphia. So he tried it out. He got in a canoe and he just put the logs, he went to the woods, cut down some logs that he felt would be good mast-sized logs for ships. And he tried floating them down the river, but they all just got stuck in rocks and things that didn't work out. So he came back. So the next time he got an idea of how to take the logs and build them into a raft, float the raft down the river, and then sell the logs in Philadelphia. So he had this, ship experience or traveling in the ocean on ships, from before. So he went to the woods, he found 6 logs that were good masts, and a spar is, if this is the mast, a spar is the part that goes across. And he cut them and he shaped them, and he actually formed mortises and tenons to put them together and pin them with saplings and put up logs for the oars. And then he got a really tall Dutchman, and together they were able to successfully sell that raft, or navigate that raft down the Delaware River to Philadelphia and sell it, just as he expected. It worked out really well. So he came back up and he built a bigger one and got another boatsman to go with him, and he was so successful at this, rafting these logs down the river, that he became known as the High Admiral of the Delaware River in the area. And other people decided they wanted to get into this business, but he kind of had a heads up, and so people would have to bring him a bottle of wine to get permission to sail down the river, and then to do other things they'd had to bring him another bottle. So anyway, Daniel was the High Admiral of the Delaware River at the time in this rafting business, and we know the Dunns and Haggai Skinner and his family have interactions later on. So it's kind of fun to be here along the Delaware River and explore the life of the Skinner family.